It's tamale time, so we are getting ready. We're making a bunch of tamales. As you can see, I've got four pork roast right here. I've actually got one more coming. I've got some maseca. I've got 2 bags there. I've got 2 more bags somewhere else in the kitchen. I've got the corn husk, the hojas ready to go. The first thing I'm going to start off with, you're going to see a bunch of breaks in this video because we're going to just film a little bit, piece it together, kind of show you what we're going to do. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the bag of the chili pods. I did tell you the other day that I get the hot one. It doesn't really transfer into, it's going to be super hot. It just gives good flavor to the tamale. So if you don't like hot at all, then I would go with a mild or a medium. This right here will have just a little bit of spice, but it won't be hot at all. I'm using the big old pot. Now this pot is called a tamalera. And the reason it's called a tamalera is because of this. This thing right here. This thing slides down in there. And if you'll see inside of here, it's got like a little ring right there. So that sits on top of that, and it allows you to have water in the bottom. So when you're making the tamales, you're cooking the tamales, it's basically steaming the tamales. That's how we cook them. We don't boil them. They're just steamed, okay? But for right now, since I'm making so much chili, I am going to use this big tamalera pot, or tamale pot, tamale steamer pot, to boil the chilies in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do them just like this. You see these stems right here? Just going to pull them off and throw that in there. Seeds and everything. It's all right. It's all good. I'm going to continue doing this until I get all 3 bags of chili in here. It is going to make a mess. The reason you don't take the seeds out is because there would be seeds all over the place. So, if you notice, I do have gloves on. Okay, I suggest you do the same. You don't want to end up with hot fingers or touching your eyes or your face and getting all irritated and stuff. So, when I get all these chilies in here, I am going to grab my molcajete, which is like a mortar and pestle, I believe is what it's called. And I'm going to put this in there upside down, just like this, not upside down, right side up, on top of all the chilies. And then I'm going to put that molcajete or mortar and pestle, something heavy, on top to hold it down. And then I'm going to fill it up with water, and I'm going to boil the chilies. And I'm boiling the chilies to change the color of the chili pot here. It's going to become a bright red color. That's what I'm looking for, okay? And also, the reason I'm doing this, if you'll look at the red chili video that's on here as well, you can see what I'm doing. I'm making red chili, basically, okay? We're going to use a lot of it tomorrow, okay? So I'll boil this till it changes colors to that bright red color, and also to soften this up so I'm able to blend it up into a nice puree without chunks or pieces or anything like that, okay? So we will see you on the next video. All right, guys, so we're still on tamales. We're going to work on the hojas right now. That's what we call them, hojas, but they're corn husks. All right, so I've got another tamalera, big old tamale pot right here. And it's got the same insert, you know, as the other one that I showed you. And I've got this pan right here that I'm going to use to weight it down, okay? So basically what I want to do is I'm going to take these corn husks and I'm going to put them in the tamale pot, okay? Fit as many in there as I possibly can. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bags, 7 bags in front of me. I'm going to put as many in there as I possibly can. The reason I'm doing this is because once I put them in there, I'm going to put the rack in there on top of them, weight it down with the pan, fill it up with water, and I'm going to put them on the stove on low, and I'm going to let them go all night long. Some people will tell you, oh, just an hour or 2 before, you know, put them on the stove to steam, and they'll be nice and soft. But I like to go all night long, and the reason I like to go all night long is because that will ensure me that when this corn husk comes out tomorrow, that it'll be nice and pliable, and I can spread the masa on it. We can roll it, and we get more usage out of the corn husk that way. I can use more of them instead of having so much to throw away. Okay. So the way I want to do it is just like this. I'm not going to be pretty about it or nothing. Just open the bag, and I'm going to stick them in here, just like that. And I'm going to do that with all the bags that I got. Rip them open and stick them in here, okay? I'm going to do that with all of them. I'm not going to sit here and make you watch all of this. Just know that this is what I'm going to do, okay? And I'm going to show, we'll come back with the final product before we put it on the stove here in just a bit, okay? All right, guys. If you'll look in here, I've got them jam-packed as much as I can fit in there, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the steamer basket. I'm just going to set it on top. It's not going to go all the way down. It's only going to fit right there, and that's fine. Then I'm going to take this and put it upside down right on top, okay? Now, the water. And that steamer basket has a bunch of holes in it, so of course the water's just going straight through the holes all the way down. And I got the steamer basket in there because I'm trying to weight down the basket to keep the hojas, the corn husks, submerged in water. Okay? And the water I'm using is just regular tap water. Of course, I ran the hot water. So basically, all I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this all the way up. Okay? Not all the way, probably about to right there or so. Okay? I'm going to move it over to the stove. And I'm going to put it on about a number 2. And I'm going to let it go all night long. Okay? And then tomorrow, well, you'll see the husk tomorrow. In the video, but this is the final video for the husk. That's as easy as it is to prepare these husks. We'll show you how to cut them down to size and things like that tomorrow. Okay, we'll see you then. Hey guys, it's meat time. So it's meat for tamale time. I've got the pork butt roast right there. You can see pork shoulder butt roast. Okay, I'm gonna put 3 in this pan. I'm gonna put 2 in that one. Okay. And all I'm doing is just putting them out. Fat caps, I like the fat caps up for right now, okay? Push them in there, nice and neat. Okay, all right. Hands are a little dirty here. Okay. Will you grab me that box of foil that's on top of the fridge, please? And I forgot the garlic. Squeezable garlic. It's one of my favorite things, okay? A little bit, I would say maybe 2 tablespoons. You can see the garlic in there, okay? And then I'm going to take about a tablespoon of Mexican oregano. And yes, it makes a difference. Get the Mexican oregano, it's so much better. About that much right there. Okay, bay leaves. Anytime that you're going to make a soup or cook something for a long time in the oven, make sure you have bay leaves in it. It makes a world of difference. It just brings out the savory flavor. There's 1, and I'm going to put 2, okay? And I want these, well, I'll put 3 because that was a little bitty half of one, okay? Make sure they're at the bottom because here's what we're going to do next. You can get the seasoning. This is just seasoned salt. That's all it is. Just regular old seasoned salt, nothing fancy. Put a little bit of this. Kind of cover it a little bit. Give it a little bit of salt. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to take water and put it in the bottom. I don't want to knock the salt off the fat caps. Okay? Okay. Not a whole lot of water. Just about a quarter of a gallon, maybe a liter. I don't know how to measure that. Just enough to where it fills up that much, okay? Move them around so the water can get around it. Okay, now we get some foil here. And I'm going to go on top of this here. Seal it up as good as I can. This is the night before. Remember, this is a 2-day process making these tamales, okay? So, I'm gonna take this pan right here, put it in that oven for 250 all night long till tomorrow morning, okay? And this is gonna be fall apart, delicious, ready to rock and roll, okay? But that's what we're gonna do with this one. I'm gonna put these 2 pork butts in that pan right there, and we'll get started on them too. But that's exactly what I do. Super simple to do, okay? So check us out on the next couple of videos. Thank you. All right, it's the second day. It's the tamale day. Okay, so I cooked the roast all night in the oven. All right, and if you ask, well, how do I know if the roast is done? Here's the bone that's in the roast, and if you'll see it, it is just clean. Right, there's no meat left on that. Okay, and what I did, and I know this kitchen is a freaking wreck right now. It's just part of tamale making. It's gonna get messy. I took one of the jars of the red chili that I made, put 1 jar in here, I put 1 jar in here. Now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna get in there and start mushing up the meat just like this, okay? And we're gonna mush it all up. We'll put some seasonings in here. We'll do garlic salt, salt, pepper, but that's really about it. The majority of the seasonings are gonna go into the masa. And the next part of the video will be the masa video, all right? So, please try this. This is pretty cool. These roasts came out beautifully. And we'll see you on the next video. It's time to make the masa, okay? And this is just corn flour masa, which you would use to make corn tortillas with or whatever, okay? So just a whole bag of that, okay? One thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put the wet ingredients in first. Okay, the reason for that is if we put the dry ingredients and then the wet ingredients, everything's gonna stick to the pan. It's not fun. So when I cook the roast, I save the drippings off the roast, the consomme, all that. This is what I'm gonna use for my water. If you threw this away or whatever, you can use chicken stock. You can use just regular water. Just season it a little bit. That'd be fine too. There's not a real science to it. So. Just a gallon of this. So I'm gonna go a gallon of this inside the pan. Okay, now don't freak out here. This is 4 cups of oil. Yes, 4 cups. Tamales are not diet food. So if you thought this was gonna be a diet tamale, get that out of your head. 4 cups of oil straight into there. Okay. Now I'm gonna go with some comino, right? Cumin. Now I'm just going to do 2 big tablespoons. Just like that. Garlic salt. I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of garlic salt too. 1, 2. Okay? Alright. Excuse the kitchen again. I know it's a mess, but this is what we're doing here. Now the salt. I don't know how much salt I want to put in here. Probably 4 tablespoons. It's going to be a lot of salt because this masa's got to go a long way. Okay. Now the red chili that I made yesterday, in this jar, I'm going to put half of the jar in there. Okay. If you're going to make like a sweet tamales or whatever, some people put like pineapple and mango and stuff in them. Just leave the chili out. Okay. I like to put the chili in because I like the color and plus the flavor. So we'll do about half that jar. There we go, just like that. All right, now time for the flour. And this is the brand. I don't like showing brand names, but this is what I buy. It doesn't have to be this one either. There's the green one, there's the brown one. Whatever you buy will work. Just make sure it's masa corn flour. Okay. Now that that's all in there, we just got to buzz it up, okay? Once it's buzzed up, you're pretty much ready to go. After you make the masa, let it sit for about 15-20 minutes. That way it kind of, everything hydrates and it gets a little bit more firm, because if not, it's going to be very loose. It's going to be hard to spread on the hoja, okay? That's the corn husk. All right? Okay, so we'll take a picture, I think, here in a bit and show you the rest of it when it's done. But the next video that you'll see is the assembly line putting everything together. Okay, stay tuned. So on the masa, we got to back up here because I messed up. I forgot to add the most important ingredient, and that's baking powder. The baking powder allows the masa to have a real light and kind of fluffy consistency, and it helps it set up. So it's going to be 2 tablespoons per 1 bag of masa corn flour. So what I have here is I just got some water. I'm going to put 1, 2. If you notice, I made 2 batches of masa because we're making a bunch of tamales. Okay, then I'm going to just mix this up with a fork. I'm going to pour it into the masa and mix it with the mixer. Okay, and if you look at the masa, this is what it's supposed to look like, kind of, when it's done, minus the baking powder. So I got that mixed up. I'm just going to pour that in there. Okay, that's about a cup and a half of water. But I just forgot the step, so I wanted to make sure I told you guys to not forget this step because it's very important. It helps the tamale actually set up. All right, we'll come back to you on the assembly video. It's tamale making time. So what we're doing is we're getting the husk, and this husk has a little hole in it, but it's no big deal. All right, we're still gonna use it. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna get some of this masa on our spreader right there and spread it. And if you want one of these spreaders, you can go on Facebook and type in tamale masa spreader, and you can order it from Sandra Vasquez. I actually use a lot of her recipes. Just pretty good stuff that she has on there. So what we're gonna do is after we spread the masa on the husk, we're gonna hand it off so that they can start stuffing it. They stuff it with the meat, they roll it, and they tuck it opposite of where the crease is. Show where the crease is. Turn it, please. Right there. See where the fold is, the crease? They tuck it opposite, and then we'll put it over there to stack it. Okay? And we do that a couple of 1,000 times, and hopefully we'll get done sometime today. Okay? So thanks for cooking with Abel. Hi guys, so we're at a point now to where we're gonna do some bean and cheese tamales. This is just something that my family likes to do, and I encourage you to try it. It's actually pretty good. So we're just gonna take a tamale that has or a husk that has the masa on it, and we're gonna reach in here, and this is just refried beans that we made last night. Give us a little strip right there, and then we're gonna take a piece of cheese. That cheese is gonna go right in the center right there. And just like as if it was a normal tamale, we just roll, bend it, and there we go. Again, these bean and cheese tamales right here, you see them on the inside right there? These are my favorite for breakfast time with a couple of fried eggs and a bean and cheese tamale, some hot sauce. Man, that's the way to go. So stay tuned, and we'll show you in another video coming up how to stack the tamales in the tamalera, or the tamale steam pot. Okay, so stay tuned. Alrighty guys, so we look at right here, those are all the bean and cheese tamales right there. So I still got some masa left, and I got some green chili right here, just chopped New Mexico hatch green chili. So I want to try some green chili and cheese tamales. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a husk that has a masa on it. I'm gonna take a little bit of chili, put it right down in the middle right there, just about like that, and then take a cheese. That one's a little crooked. I don't know what happened there. Okay, and then we're just gonna roll it like a regular tamale. Fold it back, and these are gonna come out delicious. Anything with hatch green chilies in it is always delicious. So stay tuned. Thank you. So I wanted to show you how we stack the tamales inside the tamalera, or the tamale steaming pot. So we've got all the tamales here. We put a bowl right here in the middle, if you can see the bowl, okay? And we use that as for stability, right, to stand everything up. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna stand everything up. We wanna make sure that these little tails right here are tucked in, just like that, because if they're out, then all the juice and the fatty goodness that's in here will come out, okay? So we want to make sure that they're stacked just like that. When we get that first row on the bottom right there, we're gonna take some extra corn husk that we had left over, just these right here, and we're gonna lay them on top. So we're gonna make like a layer of these, just lay them flat, okay? And then we're gonna stack up on top of that again to make 2 different layers inside this pot. If you completely fill up the pot, you're gonna get about 13 dozen tamales, and that's what we got out of the first pot right here. Come over here, look. It was actually what, 13 and a half?
13 and a half.
Okay. So that's how you stack the tamales. Go take a look at the pot again, and then we'll be good. If you have any questions or comments, just post them, and I will answer you as soon as I can. Thank you.